real beauties of Vista is the integration of the tablet PC operating system through everything on the computer. In the past, the pen-based functions of the tablet PC sort of felt like they were, well, cobbled on top of the applications that you use day to day. But now they're fully integrated. In my mind, this has made a huge difference in how usable the tablet PC is. So I've converted my computer now into tablet mode. It's open and ready for writing. But when it's in this mode here, I quite often hold it in my hand, and there's some extra buttons down the side here that help me navigate through different windows, including this one here, which is the new nav point. This allows me to scroll up and down within documents, and if I hit down that button there right in the center, that's an enter key to make it much more easy for me to enter and go from website to website, that sort of stuff. Now, speaking of websites, let me show you how we navigate day by day through a program like Internet Explorer using the tablet OS. Since I don't have a keyboard here, going from website to website, if I don't have it in my favorites, means I have to use my pen to enter the text, to enter the address of any new website that I want to go to. Within Internet Explorer, if I look at the top left-hand side, I see the tablet input panel. This is an input panel that allows me to enter text in any application, and there's a variety of different ways that we can enter text in all of our applications, but most of the time, this input panel is the easiest route. Now, if I just write anything into this input panel here, it will convert it into text and place it wherever I want. Since I'm in a web browser, I want to go from one website to another, and I want to be able to enter the address of the new website. So I'm just going to tap here in the address field within the web browser, and the input panel actually changes now. It recognizes that I'm in a web browser, and it gives me some context-sensitive extensions, http://.com, www, so that I can automatically enter those extensions without having to write them in the handwriting area. So it's very intelligent integration. Now, if I want to say go to Microsoft, I'm just going to type in Microsoft, or write in, not type in, Microsoft, and we'll see if it recognizes my handwriting, and it does. You can see that it's recognizing my handwriting, even as scratchy as my handwriting is. Microsoft.com. And once I've entered the address that I want, or the text string I want, and this is the same in all applications, I go over to the insert button right over here, and that will insert it wherever my cursor was. And so now if I take a look at the web browser, in the address field, we have Microsoft.com entered. Now, I didn't type this in. Instead, I hand wrote it in, and the character recognition software within Vista converted my handwriting into text, entered it into the address field, and now I can navigate my way through to Microsoft that easily. Now, this kind of integration isn't just within the web browser, but it extends through the entire Office family. So let's jump into Microsoft Word and take a look at some other ways that we can use the tablet interface. Now, I've opened up a blank document within Word, and you can see I still have the input panel available at the top. So now I can use this instead of a keyboard. I can just write in. So I can write without typing. Now, you can see I am not a very good handwriter, but it still all came in absolutely correct. It recognized my chicken scratch. Now, as I mentioned, there's a variety of different ways to enter text within this. And if you look along the very top of the input panel, we can see that we can actually call up an on-screen keyboard if we're having issues, or if I need to edit any of this. For example, if I need to erase it, I can just turn the pen around and use the eraser, and I can just erase a word that easily. And if I want to, I can also enter, by tapping on any of the words, I can enter an even more detailed input panel that will allow me to actually correct any of the letters. So if I was spelling this wrong and that was actually a letter A, I could change it to the letter A right within this panel and go through and selectively correct the letters. So you have tremendous control over the entire process. I just hit insert, and the text is pasted right into my document. Now, writing is just one way that you can use the tablet PC operating system for working with documents. Another way, which is really popular and one that I really like, is marking up documents. So here I've got a great example. I've got a Microsoft Word document open, which is actually a transcript of an interview. Now, typically speaking, as we're editing this transcript, I would print it off, and I would go through and I would mark it up with a pen. I would add notes, and I would add notation and little suggestions. Well, I can do the same sort of thing right within Word. All I'm going to do is let me close down the input panel so we have full screen, and I'm going to go into the Review tab. When I go into the Review tools, I can choose Start Inking. Now, inking allows me to write on top of a document. So the text is still down below the document, but now I'm writing another ink layer above it, and I'm basically marking it up and annotating it. I can choose different tools. You see I have ballpoint pen, felt tip pen, and if I happen to like what this word here is and say this is good, I can write right on the document. And then when I print this off, this will appear as ink. So it doesn't change the document beneath in any way. I can still click on it, I can still edit it, I can still type with it with a keyboard, or indeed using the pen interface, but now I'm just adding annotation above it in a kind of a different layer, in a separate layer in the ink layer. Not only can I add notes like this, but I can also choose the highlighter, and I can highlight sections just like you would with a normal felt type highlighter. This integration is making a huge difference in how I use my computer. In the past, I only used the tablet functions on the plane or when space was an issue, and I always felt like I was a little bit limited when I was working in tablet mode. But now I have the option to use it wherever and whenever I want. Now, I don't actually think I'm going to choose to write long documents in tablet and handwriting mode. At this point in my life, I'm much faster on the keyboard. But for editing, taking notes, brainstorming, I'm now very comfortable using the tablet and pen functions. In fact, I actually look for opportunities now to switch to pen mode. I keep hoping for a stroke of genius. The last part of Lenovo's tablet PC that I want to look at today is some of the custom applications written just for pen-based computing. Now, this is part of the Office 2007. It's called Microsoft's OneNote. Now, for years, I carried around a paper notebook along with my notebook computer so that I could make notes in paper, scribble down any important thoughts or information. But now, Microsoft's OneNote replaces that paper notebook. It allows me to do everything on my computer. In OneNote, we jot down points, we keep track of projects, we store information, just like we're on a paper notebook, but it lets us keep those notes as ink, or it'll convert those notes into other applications on our computer. So now I can take notes in a meeting, I can convert those handwritten notes into text, and then I can email them to everyone in the meeting, for example. Let me show you how it all works. I have OneNote open here, and we can see down the left-hand side, I've got all my different notebooks open, because you can have multiple notebooks. And then within my main notebook here, I've got a series of tabs of different projects that I'm working on. And these are tabs like organizers so that I can keep all of my projects segmented from the others. Now, if I want to work on a new project, I can just tap on the project tab and I can start a brand new project by clicking over here and opening a new page. Now, once I open that new page, I can name that page and I can start working with it. Now, the whole idea behind OneNote, it's all about mixed media. I can clip things from the internet and paste it in. I can paste photos and drawings. I can write. I can make notes. I can add text. I should be able to mix it all on a single page and then use that as a basis for my project. So I'm going to show you under the Tools menu, I can choose a variety of different pen modes, creating both handwriting and drawing, handwriting only, or drawing only. I'm going to leave it in creating both handwriting and drawing, and I'm going to show you how you might start doodling out a project. So let's say I'm going to do a home renovation. I'm going to start by drawing a floor plan. So I'm just using the pen mode here, and I'm drawing a room. And let's say in that room, I'm going to put a kitchen sink right here, with a nice sink, and over here is going to go the stove. And you get the idea. I can basically draw out, oh, I got a big stove. I got a 6-burner stove happening. So I can draw out the floor plan of my new renovation. And then I can start making notes. Oh, for the new stove, I have to call Bob. So I'm going to write down call Bob. And I can make little notes like this. Now, I've got a typical page here where there's text notes and there's drawings. I can go through now and I can convert my text notes into editable text that I can send in an email or something like that. All I have to do is select the text tool, and then I can actually highlight the text. Even though it doesn't know that it's text yet, it hasn't converted it into text, it recognizes that character as text, and then I can go under the Tools menu and I can ask it to convert handwriting into text and see how it converts it now to call Bob. So now I can take any text within my document, convert it into regular text, and then I can use it to share. For example, under the File menu, I can take it and I can send it to email, or I can send it to another document. So as you can imagine, over time, you're going to build a huge volume of information within OneNote. You're going to use it to capture all sorts of information. So the next important thing within OneNote is not capturing information, but being able to find the information that you've captured. Now, certainly using all the tabs and organizing your information is going to be one thing, but how do you search on a drawing? How do you search for stoves and stuff like that? Well, hearkening back to some of the other technology that we have, say within our photo editing software, we also have the ability